So welcome back to Hygge Gaming and this week's Monday guide. Today we will jump straight into it with 6 things you didn't know about naval bases. And the funny thing with this is that this will be purely focused on land, so there will be no naval in this guide about naval bases. We will start with the more basic things and we will go deeper along the way. So the first thing you need to realize is that a naval base works exactly like a supply hub. So a naval base is a supply hub that also brings in supply by itself through convoys. And another amazing thing with naval bases, with this in mind, is that a supply hub costs 20,000 IC. A supply hub is really expensive. And if we go down to naval base, it costs a fourth. It costs 5,000 IC. So it's really quick to build. If you're down to 1939 and you have tech some construction speed, you will build a naval base in like a month. And that's really good. If you're attacking through a coastline and you need more supply, just put up more naval bases and you will get that supply rolling. And since it brings in their own supply, it's not only cheaper, it's also better than a supply hub. And since a naval base is a supply hub, you can go into the supply map mode and also motorize it, so you can get the supply that you bring into the naval base go even further. Yeah. So a better supply hub, a cheaper supply hub. And before things get really interesting, I just want to say that most of you watching are not yet subscribers. We release a new guide every Monday, and we also release studio commentated historical World War II games. So if you haven't seen those, please check those out. And if you for some reason can't get enough of these Monday guides and you really want more, we have our Patreon with one extra guide every second week that we release, me and Badger. And we also have a big Patreon archive now. It's a lot of guides now. So if you want even more guides, even more multiplayer content, even more from our studio, please join our Patreon. You can always be a free patron if you just want to support our channel and our quest for making Hearts of Iron 4 even better. So let's continue. We want to see how this works more practical, so let's put up a naval base down here. Now I've taken this area, but that's just for show to see how supply would move if we would conquer this area from the British in the start of the war. So we build a naval base here. I have cheated so we can get it quickly. Let's see. And you see here, we have a supply hub now with a naval base. Each naval base at level 1 give you 8 supply from the capital. So already now we have more supply here just because of the naval base built. And the supply it sends forward, and we can motorize this one just to gain even more supply. And give it even further, as you see on the dotted lines here. This is dotted, the lines here, how far it goes depending on the motorization status. So what we can do now, either we could choose to upgrade this port to level 2 and we will gain 3 extra, but it's more expensive. It costs 1,000 extra per level, so that will start to cost money and we don't want to spend more money than we want. So what you can do here with naval bases, since they work exactly as supply hubs, you can connect a rail to that naval base. And as soon as that's built, now we have 15 from the 20 possible on this level 6 naval base in Tobruk that we can use. Each railway gives you 15 in throughput. So that's not enough, so we would need to upgrade that one level. So we get up to 20. Building railways are pretty cheap, so this is a really cheap way. I think this railway would have cost me like 1,000 IC or something like that. So really cheap, and now we have a 20 supply hub in the border town here, and we're up to 8.41 in supply. I think we started at like something like 3 like we have here. And the next thing you can do, since naval bases are pretty cheap, especially compared to supply hub, is just why not build another one? We have 841 here and we have 3.7 here. Let's build another one and let's motorize it. Yep, we kicked that up pretty quickly. I think we can motorize this one too if we want even more here. So we're up to 12 here. So we're starting to have a lot of supply in this area, being able to actually push through and push back our enemy. The next thing that is really important to know is that you might want to exploit this, since naval bases are pretty cheap, and you get for 5,000 8 supply into an area, and you need to pay more, and only gets you 3 per level. Is that if you want to build a supply hub, something that you might think you could do is just connect a supply hub to 3 level 1 naval bases, and then you can gain that 20 supply that the supply hub has the possibility to distribute further. It doesn't work like that. If we connect the railway here, see if I can connect a railway. We connect the railway here. You will see we need to have it at level 2. It needs to be built. I have too slow. We have a connection here, but as you see, this connection goes from the maxed level harbor in the system. So you can't build 3 level 1 naval bases and get 8 supply each to the supply hub. You only get what your maximum naval base can give you. So it always go from the max naval base. So you need to have a better naval base if you're gonna supply a supply hub in a good manner. And if you're going really cheap and you just want to build a level 1 naval base, it can be in an area where you don't have any naval bases that you can connect, like in this way with the Brook. Just think about the cost for railway. So if you only have 8 supply in, or up to 15 supply in, you don't need to have better railways. That's not a choke point. A railway can give you 15 supply throughput, so you can push 15 supply from your naval base wherever you want it. So don't upgrade a lot of railways unnecessary. If you don't have a big naval base, you don't need to upgrade any railways. But let's look at some practical applications with this. Let us think that this is enemy territory. We want to go in there. We see we have a lot of supply now. We have 18 here, we have 19 there. If we would go in here, we have 15, we have 13 here. So if we start going in here with units, you see the supply drops a lot, since the motorization, even if we put in this one, don't get us that far. So what we could do, if we start moving in here with a troop, we say we're fighting along here, we're coming here where we have bad supply. As I said, building a dockyard. Now I don't think I have the construction bonuses yet, but in 1939 it takes you 1 month. So if you start pushing in, you build 1 supply hub, directly you go from 4 here to 9 in the supply. If you would also connect this one, because this is, yes, as we said, 8 in supply connection. If we would connect this one with a level 2 railway, or just a level 1 railway, what's the cost for this one? It's, let us see, it's 900. Here we have 15, upgrade it 900, we'll get a little bit more. It will cost us like 2000. And bam, we will have a lot more supply. And we can motorize it, and we can start moving further out with some actual supply. And if we go here and we meet resistance, why not put up another naval base and just continue building that railway? And now we have a lot of supply, even in this area. So building naval bases are really good. So if you look at the supply situation here, we have totally fixed the supply situation with naval bases. Of course, they're not free, but a lot more cost efficient than a supply hub is. And the fact that they bring in their own supply means that you might not even need to build railways. You could just push up those naval bases, and with those naval bases get the supply that you need. So we have 11 in supply here, so you could fit more heavy units like tanks and everything there to continue the offensive. So what's the conclusions here? Naval bases are a cheap way to get the supply hub, with itself even bringing in supply for you. So you don't even need railways, but if you have a better naval base, absolutely connected to the railway system, so you get even more supply in that area. So this is amazing when fighting in coastal areas, and since you can motorize them, you can also bring supplies inland, at least a little bit, and they are really really cheap. So it's amazing to use them when attacking coastal areas. So you have the supply that you need to really really defeat the enemy. But with that said, that's all for this week. Next week, next Monday, it's Badger's turn. I think we have a Patreon guide coming out. Should be next week, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot coming. We have a new grand game, the 30th. How do you say it? 30. I'll write it in the screen. Can't pronounce it right now. So it's in the end of June. We will have a grand game. We will have Petter. I think we'll have Victor in the studio following through on the entire game, giving you their amazing commentary as always. I really look forward to that one. Look forward to new guides. Look forward to reading and answering all your comments. And with that said, I will see you guys next time.